Hey guys, it's Miss Cassidy again. So, as usual, we start out with a quick reminder on how your heading must go. Always remember to write your name, and when I say name, I mean complete name, not just your first name. You have to add your last name, the date, grade, and section. And of course, our objective and our I can statement. Our objective for today is to analyze plot in the story. And our I can statement is to understand what plot is and its importance in a story. So we're going to go to the book for this. This is the story you guys will be reading this week. It says, get ready. You're going to analyze and apply. The name of our short story written by Theodore Taylor is Rogue Wave. Wow, look at that picture. It's really enticing, isn't it? So, as before, our essential question, never forget about it. Always focus on it because at the end, you're going to be answering it. What helps people rise up to face difficulties? Again, that's basically just asking you what motivates someone to be like really bold or brave and face up to some difficulty they're having. It could be something in life. It can be someone, it could be many different things. All right, first we have our quick start activity. In our quick start activity, we have a question, and this is for you guys. Do you panic or do you keep a clear head in a crisis? It's basically asking you, what is your reaction when something goes wrong? When it's something that's maybe could be or is out of your control, how do you handle that? And I want you to make a list of the qualities needed to deal with a crisis. You can discuss this with your parents, or you can do it with an aunt or an uncle, your older siblings. Really sit down and discuss what type of qualities a person needs to have to be able to deal with a crisis. Now, the next thing, as I said before in our objective, is plot. We're going to be analyzing plot in a story. The power of an adventure story such as Rogue Wave comes from its action and events. Most stories recount a series of events, also known as a plot. An important part of the plot is the setting or the time and place of the action. The setting influences the characters and the conflict, the struggle between opposing forces. And when we say opposing forces, we're talking about the character struggling either with someone or something. So they have to win the battle, basically. As the characters try to resolve the conflict, the plot builds suspense, the growing tension felt by the reader. Writers also use foreshadowing or hints that suggest future events to create suspense and increase readers' interest in what will happen. Foreshadowing allows us to be able to infer what will happen next based on events that they've given us already in the story or evidence that they've given us in the story. Now, this is what a plot diagram is made of. It's made of the exposition, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. So I thought that maybe a quick video could help us refreshen our memory on what a plot diagram is. So pay attention.
Every good story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Take a look at this picture. The beginning is actually called the exposition, which is just a fancy word for beginning. But it usually starts with an enticing moment, something to really hook you and get you interested. Think about the exposition to The Lion King. We have Simba, the little prince, Mufasa, the royal king, and then Scar, the creepy uncle. Already, we're hooked. The rising action happens before the most exciting part. It's everything that builds up to that one moment where you hold your breath. You don't know what's going to happen next. Every interaction that Scar and Simba have leads up to this moment, where Scar and Simba have to fight to the death. And you don't know what's going to happen. Or maybe you do. But in the end, Scar loses and Simba wins. The falling action brings us to the resolution or the conclusion, where everything is tied up and finished, sometimes with a happily ever after. Review exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution, and be ready for your class assignment tomorrow. See you soon.
Okay, so that is what a plot diagram kind of looks like. I'm going to give you another example as well, so you can see a little different way of looking at it. Everyone has kind of their interpretation of what it looks like. I personally believe it looks like a little mountain. So this is a different way for you guys to look at it, just in case you're wondering, you know, what it looks like. So it kind of looks like a mountain. Like I said, there are different ways of looking at it. Some people call it a story mountain. A couple of things change. Instead of background, instead of introduction, they have background here, but all of the parts are basically the same. So that's what a plot diagram is. So you have the exposition, as she said, that introduces character, setting, and conflict. The rising action which presents complications that intensify the conflict. The climax, which is the story's moment of greatest interest and the point where the conflict is resolved. In the falling action, the story begins to draw to a close. It means it's coming to an end. And then the resolution reveals the final outcome of the conflict. As you read Rogue Wave, make notes about how the character's setting and plot work together to create suspense and excitement. Now, we're also going to focus on this for a second, the genre elements of a short story. The genre elements in a short story are, it includes one or more characters, it provides a setting, it develops a plot, it may be realistic or imaginary, it often conveys a theme or lesson about life. And when I say convey, it means it's transmitting or trying to teach you a lesson about life. And then finally, the characters in most realistic fiction stories face everyday problems. Characters in adventure stories face extreme dangers. So that's basically what we need to know about how to analyze plot. So you guys can go ahead and start reading Rogue Wave. But remember to take that into consideration first. You need to analyze the plot. All right, guys, that's it for me. Bye. See ya.